Your Honor. I'd like to answer the question. The reason this changed is because I found out that the mother was having sexual relationships with her drug dealer, and I found the drug dealer sneaking out the back door. So she was having sexual relations with both of us.
This time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the mother here in this matter. Ma'am, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Salamite Galai.
And the name of the child or children that we're here in reference to?
Isaac Kuroki.
And the name of the child's father?
Joseph Kuroki.
And did you hear what I previously read into the record as it relates to this case?
Yes, I did hear.
And are you in agreement with those terms only that were provided to the court?
I'm in agreement with those terms, yes.
All right. And are you requesting that the court accepts those agreements and make them the order of the court today?
Yes.
All right. Now, moving forward to the contested issues. Has there been any issues relating to family violence between you and the other party to this case?
Yes, there has been.
Has there been anything within the last 2 years?
Yes.
And when was the last incident, ma'am?
About 8 months ago. Yeah.
And what happened during that incident?
He showed up to my home after we separated about a year and a half ago. So he showed up to my home around 11 o'clock unannounced, just very kind of volatile. My friend was here as well. He pushed me, trying to get access to his son, which my son was sleeping. I guess that's the reason, but pushed me, kind of shoved my friend. I called the police a couple of times. They didn't show up that night. And then the next morning he came back and I didn't allow him in my home. I called the police again. They showed back up. 3 officers took my statement. And then after that, we try to keep our discussions and things to like a minimum, but there's been issues with our relationship.
And other than this incident that you spoke of that took place about 8 or 9 months ago, has there been any prior incidents?
We've had quite a few incidents. I didn't always call the police or, make a record of it, but we've had a pretty toxic relationship.
All right. But just to confirm, you did call the police in reference to this last incident, correct?
Yes.
And based off of that incident and the prior incidents that you spoke of, are you still okay with you and the other party being named as joint managing conservators, or are you requesting that you be named as the sole managing conservator?
No, we can both. Joint is fine. He's never been harmful to his child or anything like that. And, he loves his child, but so joint is fine.
Do you feel that you and the other party could come together to make decisions together that are in the child's best interest?
Yes, I think we can.
And have you two been able to do that in the past?
Somewhat. I mean, it's a hard relationship, but we have sometimes we disagree, but my son is I would say 90% of the time with me. So I do most of the schooling. My son is autistic. So as far as like transport to and from therapy and ABA and speech and everything like that, I've been doing that, but we do come to a decision based on like what school and things like that.
All right. And as it relates to the insurance, how does the child currently receive insurance?
So he's currently on Medicaid. He's been on Medicaid for only about a month, I would say. Joseph lost his job in February. So my son lost his insurance. So we had to apply. He was without insurance for about a month or two. And then, so we applied for Medicaid. At that time, he was unemployed. So we did receive the Medicaid. We finally got the, the funding. But now Joseph is working. So I fear that, the Medicaid will probably drop my son. So I think we're trying to put him back on Joseph's insurance.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. And as it relates to the child support, just confirm you are requesting that the father pays child support in the amount of $1,158 based off his income. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are you requesting retroactive support from May 2024 to present date?
Yes.
Just one moment.
but I am willing to negotiate. I do want to say that, like, if the number is a very large number, and I know, I'm not in it for like the money. So I am willing to negotiate if he's okay with that.
Right, just one moment, please. All right, the state has used the reported income for the non-custodial parent for the calculation of retroactive support, and requesting to take a retroactive support judgment in the amount of $18,361.50 to be paid at $142 per month. Are you in agreement to that amount?
Yes, sir.
And since the two of you separated, the child has primarily been residing with you, is that correct?
Yes.
Has the father been providing you with support for the child financially?
He's given me $1,000. I would say since May, but he did give me $1,000.
All right. And with the credit for $1,000, the state would request to readjust the retroactive support judgment to the amount of $17,361.50 to be paid at $130 per month. Would you be in agreement to that amount?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And as it relates to visitation, has the father had any visitation here recently with the child?
Yeah. About a week ago. When was it? He has, but it's not over the past since May of 2024. He's probably seen him 20-25 times, like keeping him at his home. He likes to FaceTime. I do most of everything. Me and my family, my friends.
Thank you, ma'am. And would you be in agreement to the father having a standard possession order as it relates to visitation going forward?
Yes.
And are you in agreement for the father to pay the court costs associated with today's hearing?
Yes.
Do you have any additional information that you would like to offer to the court today?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. Nothing further from this party owner. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the father in this matter. Sir, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Joseph Kuroki.
Mr. Kuroki, did you hear what I previously read into the record that was agreed to by the party?
All right, guys, let's break this down. This case opens with absolute chaos. The father drops a serious allegation, claiming the mother was involved with a drug dealer while still with him. That's not just personal drama. It's a direct attack on her credibility and parenting. Right from the start, this turns into a credibility war.
I did.
And only in reference to those terms that you previously agreed to that were provided to the court, sir, are you still currently in agreement with those terms only?
Yes, those times on them.
All right, thank you, sir. And are you requesting that the court accepts those agreements and make them part of the order today?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. As it relates to the issue of family violence, did you hear the mother testify that there had been some issues relating to family violence within the past 8 to 9 months?
Yes, I had some very serious but false allegations.
All right. And, sir, has there been any family violence between the two parties within the past 2 years?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I intend to present a video showing the incident in question. I have it right here for presentation to court.
And when was the last incident, sir?
Looking at the dates, give me a second. I will tell you exactly what date that was. That was June 29, 2022.
Did you say 22, sir? June 29th, 2022?
Yes, and then there have been multiple. There was one year and a half where she claimed that I touched her. Police were called. They investigated. No charges were filed because
And was that
there was no domestic violence. There was no family violence.
right? And was that the incident that took place about 8 or 9 months ago?
Yes.
All right. And just confirm, stated that the police were called and an investigation was conducted, but they did not have any charges pressed against you. Is that correct?
Yes, because there was no proof. There was an allegation made. There was no proof. I am a military veteran, Marine Corps veteran. I have a security clearance. I've never had any violence in my record at all. So I completely deny that allegation.
All right. Thank you, sir. And sir, are you currently employed?
I am. I have started my new job June 2nd. There was a break of unemployment this year from February to June. But I am currently employed, yes.
And are you requesting that you carry the insurance for the child going forward?
Absolutely. I've been my son's primary caregiver for 5 to 6 years of his life. I've always provided medical insurance. My insurance is typically very comprehensive. I choose to pick the highest insurance so I can cover my son's needs 100%. Currently, my insurance is $1,200 a month. I have added my son to that insurance, and I intend to keep him on that insurance. Medicaid, it's against the law for me to have him on Medicaid and private insurance. I am the one who actually got him on Medicaid. I've always led his medical treatment.
All right. Thank you, sir. Just one moment. And you spoke about the $1,200 amount for the insurance. Is that $1,200 encompass both you and the child, or that just for the child to be covered?
That is for me and my son. That is the plan that allows him to have the best benefits. It's all about him. It's not about me. So,
all right. And what is the child's portion for the insurance?
I would, if I was going to go on it myself, it's very cheap. It's like $50 something every couple of weeks. I'm a healthy adult male, and I don't need that insurance. But the Blue Cross, Blue Shield, platinum level insurance through my company costs me $600 every 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. As it relates to child support, the state is requesting, sir, that you pay child support in the amount of $1,158. Are you in agreement to this amount, sir?
No. And I do have to just get.
Sir, could you explain to the court? Could you give me just a moment while I state the question, sir? Could you explain to the court why you don't agree to paying the child support based off of your income?
Well, not based out of my income. And quite frankly, on it would be very easy for me to just write a check and just move on with my life. But the reason I'm denying this is very comprehensive. One, contrary to what the other party has said, I am a very active parent to our son. I have been his primary caretaker 5 years out of the 6 years he's been alive. I see as a matter of fact, the last time I saw my son was Monday, when she dropped off our son to my house. So I'm a present father. I'm an active father. I dress my son. I actually have lunch with my son every day at his therapy, every day without fail. And that is something that can be attested by his therapist. I'm disputing that amount because I'm a present father, 100%. I have said that we have an exchange pretty much every day. She's refused that. I would say that I can pick him up after my job, drop him off in the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Okay.
And as it relates to the retroactive support, the mother's requesting retroactive support for the past 13 months, giving a credit of $1,000. The state will request to take a judgment in the amount of $17,361.50 to be paid at $130 per month. Are you in agreement to that amount, sir?
No, I'm not. The reason I'm not in agreement with that is
Mr. Karaoke, sir. Thank you. And as it relates to the amount, sir.
It's karaoke.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. As it relates to the amount, sir, how much money would you provide that you've given to the mother over the past 13 months?
So I have given her $1,000 because I was unemployed between February and May. But other than that, my son's been staying with me and her. It's been a very joint 50-50 custodial agreement up until really December of this year. And she knows exactly what happened. And that's why we haven't had a good relationship since December. But since May, he was at my house when she worked. When I was working, she was with him, but I would put him to bed every single evening. So it's not like our son has been just with her this whole time. And that's really why I'm disputing this.
All right. And sir, you stated that the mother knows why the situation changed as it relates to the child sometime in December. Is that in reference
Yep.
to the incident that she spoke of relating to possible family violence?
I'm glad you asked that. So no, it's not that. The mother, let me finish. You asked me a question, let me finish.
All right, you answered the question, sir. Thank you.
I have not answered the question, Your Honor. I'd like to answer the question. The reason this changed is because I found out that the mother was having sexual relations with her drug dealer. And I found the drug dealer sneaking out the back door. So she was having sexual relations with both of us. That's part of my concerns about her behavior and fitness to be a parent.
All right, thank you, sir. As it relates to the visitation, when was the last time you had visitation with the child?
This Monday, she dropped him off in the evening.
The mother steps in composed but strategic. She admits the relationship was toxic, claims past incidents, yet still agrees to joint custody. Smart move to appear reasonable. She positions herself as the primary caregiver, especially highlighting the child's special needs. Financial pressure is emphasized, but she avoids sounding greedy, which strengthens her stance.
I fed, walked my son, played with him, dropped him off at her house. I'm very consistent when it comes to time with our son.
Thank you, sir. And prior to that,
I have the text messages to prove that as well.
Sir, as it relates to the visitation, prior to that Monday, when was the last time you had visitation with the child? Prior to that,
it was last week, Thursday.
And was that an overnight visit?
Overnight. It's always overnight.
All right. And what time did you get the child, and what time did you return the child?
So she dropped him off in the evening. Dropped him off at a place in the morning.
So again, sir, at what time did you get the child?
In the evening, at 6:30 p.m.
All right. And when did you return the child to the mother?
By 8 o'clock Friday morning.
All right. Thank you, sir. Now, as it relates to the exchange of the child, the mother is requesting that the exchange take place at the Bath and Body Works located at 5331 East Mockingbird Lane in Dallas, Texas. Are you in agreement to the exchange to take place at that location, sir?
No, there's no basis for that location other than it's like 5 minutes from my house. So she would essentially be skipping all the traffic to my house. We've been exchanging our son at our homes. So she wants to change it now. If she wants a precise 50, halfway location, we've actually done a calculation. We've actually exchanged our son, several times, and that is the shops at Highland Park. So I don't mind us exchanging our son somewhere away from our homes, even though we did it as soon as this Monday. But if it's a 50-50 location where we're sharing the burden of exchanging our son, then let's keep it at where we've been exchanging it, which is at the shops at Highland Park. It's literally halfway between our homes.
All right, thank you, sir. And as it relates to the court costs, you don't agree to paying the court costs associated with today's hearing, is that correct?
Well, I don't agree because there's so much as far as the level of involvement I have with my son, the cost that I put in on my son, his care. I feel that any court costs should be split between two of us.
Nothing further from this party, Your Honor. Your Honor, if I could quickly recall the mother just to address the allegations of a prior 50-50 split.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, can I'm sorry, I thought you were on mute. As it relates to the child, ma'am, has the father and you been splitting the child 50-50 as it relates to where the child would reside?
Absolutely not.
Um, has the father had multiple days to which he had the child at a certain period of time?
Like I said, probably since, a year and a half ago, he's probably had him. The most he's had him was for like 2 days in a row. It's never, and, during his work hours, he won't pick him up from school. There's so many things that he will not do. He's unwilling to do.
And do you know the father's work schedule?
He works from home, I guess, Monday through Friday, I guess 8 to 5, something, business hours. And then he used to travel. I don't know where he works currently. With his before he lost his job in February, he would travel for business as well.
And you stated that the longest he's ever had the child was for 2 days that you could remember. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Consecutively, yes.
Okay. Or do you have any additional information that you could you would like to offer to the court relating to the possibility of the 50-50 split?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Nothing further from this party.
Thank you.
All right, let me go ahead and make all the findings. Okay, so first, of course, we're establishing that Mr. Kuroki is a biological father. As far as the family violence, I didn't hear anything of there was physical violence. It sounds like y'all didn't get along very well. You've had arguments. Maybe, the showing up at the wrong time. That's maybe an issue, but I haven't heard any evidence or seen any evidence that there's been physical violence. So other than y'all just not getting along with each other.
The father wastes no time pushing back. He flat out denies the abuse claims and leans heavily on his clean record and military background to build credibility. This isn't emotional, it's calculated. He's trying to dismantle her narrative piece by piece while presenting himself as stable, disciplined, and falsely accused.
I don't consider that to the rise of the level of me making a finding of family violence. So I'm not making a finding of family violence ruling. I'm appointing y'all as joint managed conservators. Child support for the future has to be paid. The child primarily lives with mother. It's not a 50-50. I think that's pretty clear. So you have to pay child support, Mr. Kuroki. I mean, even though you don't like it, you're gonna have to pay child support based on your wages. Your child support is $1,158, and that's for the future. That's not based on anything in the past. That's based on that the child's going to reign primarily with the mother, and you're going to be visiting on the weekends or whenever you have available time. But primarily, the child is at least 75% with mother, and you have to pay child support. The health insurance, I don't know if you can find anything cheaper, but usually the mother or the person that has a child primarily would be the one to apply for Medicaid. If the child has some special needs, it's possible that you might be able to get Medicaid based on the special needs. But that's something y'all can look at and see if that's something you can do. I mean, obviously, it's also based on income, so it may or may not work. I don't know, but something to look into in the future. Sometimes when we have disabled children, if that's the case here, they may be able to give you Medicaid even though there may be an income issue. So I don't know. That's something to explore. Insurance. I'm not asking for comments, sir. I need you to listen. Very important that you listen now. Okay, so for now, Mr. Kuroki is going to be the one primarily responsible for the insurance. It is very expensive, obviously, so I understand that, but that's the only thing we have available right now. So we're having you be the primary responsibility of carrying insurance. Make sure Miss July has a copy of any of your insurance cards. If they change, make sure she gets updates about that. For visitation, we're doing standard visitation, which is the first, third, and fifth weekends of each month, from Friday at 6 until Sunday at 6. If y'all agree to something different, then that's okay with me. I'm okay with that. But if you do not have an agreement, then those are the times you get visitation, not other times. So it takes both of you to agree, not one person telling the other person what they want. Okay, so both y'all agree to something different, that's fine with me. But if you both don't agree, then you're doing the visitation schedule on the weekends. The exchange location, that sounds reasonable. I don't understand why we would. I'm not going to make Miss July drive halfway to meet you somewhere. That doesn't make any sense. The normal order would be that you're going to meet at her residence to pick up and drop off the child. So meeting 5 minutes away from her residence isn't that big of a difference. And based on y'all having issues with drop-ins or coming to a residence when you're not supposed to, it makes sense that we would want to do an exchange location. And that way both of y'all are protected from any false allegations or actual things that may happen. If you meet in a public place, hopefully that means y'all will act better. And if you don't, then there'll be witnesses. So I think the exchange location makes sense, even though you may not like it. It makes a lot of sense to me. Retroactive judgment is $12,000 instead of the $17,000. So $12,000 is what's owed for the past, payable at $100 a month until paid in full. Court costs billed to Mr. Kuroki. All right, the Attorney General's office will draft the order based on my ruling. I'll sign off on that. They'll email you a copy. If you're self-employed, you'll need to send in your own payments to the child support office so they can record your payment and send it through the Attorney General's office, send it to the mother. It sounds like you're employed, so they'll probably just send out a withholding order just to take it out of your check every 2 weeks or however you get paid, and make sure they know about any changes in employment so there aren't any gaps in any child support payments. All right, that'll be my ruling. Y'all are done with court. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Now the real fight begins. Money. The father rejects a child support figure, not because he can't pay, but because he believes it misrepresents his role. He paints himself as highly involved, even daily. This is less about finances and more about control over the narrative of who's actually raising the child.